we've now reached what we could call the home stretch of the carving. We're coming to a finish. So at this point we need to sort of start thinking about tuning and cleaning and getting things properly finished. So let me mention a couple of things. First of all, lines. So these are lines here, this line here, which is a change of plane. This line is an outline. And there's not much in the way of actual lines as such, but there are these definite lines that are happening that you can see in the light and shadow. These we need to tune, need to get looking smooth. And if you look just here, I think you can see here, can you see that this line comes up here and then it sort of takes a corner and does there. So there's a sort of corner here, which is different from this one. So this is a common thing that happens. So when I was carving, I'm thinking along here, then I think round there. So I sort of almost like think two parts. This side, I just thought one shape. So what we've got to do is make sure that these lines are nice and smooth. We also need to look at the edges and make sure they're curved, you know, properly. They're nice and clean, you know, sweeping round. The surfaces themselves. And I think there's something we can do about making this and this a little bit more interesting, because it's just a blob at the moment. You can still see the surfaces on this paper here. I've left those, but we need to make sure these are symmetrical and so on. So all that, so look carefully at it. Also look carefully sideways like this, and this should be flowing through. It is pinched, there's a little bit of a pinch, but it doesn't want to go down like to an angle, sort of just smoothly working through this collar or this ring here. So that's what we're going to do now, move it to a finish by looking at the lines, the surfaces, the junctions and so on. You can start on the big surfaces, like we did before, and make sure that we're taking small cuts, light facets, clean them up, no scratches, no tears, that sort of thing. And make sure that they're coming down to a nice curve here. They're just going to pop into the background, they're not going to be undercut. See, I've got some marks here, these I want to take off. So get these surfaces nice. I'm not going to sand, although that is an option if you want it really smooth. I'm just going to leave this lightly faceted. We're taking off the paper, that's the final surface, and then bringing that round like so. So this now, what I'm saying is when I've finished on this surface here, I won't be going back and doing anything. So just clean that all up. These two should be pretty much the same. You know, I wouldn't worry too much about being dead exact, but they should feel the same. And I've cleaned up this line in here. And I think there's a way of making this a little bit more interesting by sort of almost like shadowing this shape around here by scooping some of that out. So I'm going to hollow this and create another line here. I'm not going any deeper, just taking that off like so. See how that looks. And again, trying to be symmetrical. Then this line nice down the middle. So I might make that a bit deeper here, and then this part will be rounded over or flattish, shall we say, up to the top here. So I'm creating, you can see that coming, creating this line. In fact, I might even I think more of a scoop here, a deeper tool. Yeah, something like that. So get this edge here symmetrical, and I'll probably do the same a little bit up here, just a little bit, so that this edge, instead of being just rounded, has a little bit of a curve in there, a little opposite curve as it comes down. So that's what I'm going to work on. So have a go at that and see, you know, yours might be a bit different, but no need to worry about these junctions, they're clear, just stop short. Clean that up. I'm using the chisel that I used for the belt, or the ring down the bottom, like this, with a slicing cut, just to clean up that surface. So I've got my scoop here. What I can do is put a bit of a scoop up this end. So as it comes to the bottom, there's going to be a little bit of a concavity there, which will match on the other side, and then it'll come this way, pick up the rest. So what I've got is, what I'll be looking for is another line sort of there like that, which I'll echo on this side. I'm going to do the same on the bottom end, give that a little bit of flair when I get there. There's a nice sharp point up there. Do it down the middle. I've added a scoop here into that bit that echoes this, or is like a shadow here, but I haven't taken anything off there. And this I've decided to make a bit smoother. You can still see a little bit of paper there, and there's the centre line, so that's still a height. So what we're left with now is the scoop bits, bringing them in and just finishing off here. So we're going to do exactly as we did before, just checking that line, making sure it's nice and clean, coming round, checking that line there, and the same on this side, mirroring it. There's nothing new about that, just clean that up. And then we're coming around here, and then I will be tuning this down like that and making sure the junctions are nice and clean and that's square across the bottom. So that's what I'm up to now. I think definitely a concave rather than just straight. And as I say, keep an eye on that line there. Notice how I'm able to use my fingers as a pivot there, like that. As the outside and the inside, the concave and convex parts come together. This is quite a complicated little shape here, and you will need to get your skew chisel in to clean that up. Okay, and then you can adjust this, and I think this strap needs to go across and down, sort of with a bit of a corner rather than just a proper ring. But to make that a bit more interesting, what I want to do is just hollow it out. So I'll take my gouge and just run across here like this. So I'm just scooping this out a little bit. And then come down so that the outside edge, as it comes down here, the outline is still concave. So with that, we finish. What we can do now is change the lighting and have another look to see what we would like to alter, any last little things we want to clean up. And then we're ready to finish it with wax or something, take it off the board, that sort of thing.